highs at 6.
Hope to see you tonight at 10 for the night beat. Have a good night.
We're going to see clearing skies for the rest of the afternoon, and we'll be left with a high temperature right near 87 in San Antonio. So it's going to be a warm one for us this afternoon. Highs even hotter, closer to 100 degrees down near Laredo. That cool front is on its way, though, and we're excited about that. We have to be patient, though, because that front's not going to arrive until tomorrow afternoon. So starting the day tomorrow, there will be areas that are pretty cool in North Texas, but here in San Antonio, we have to wait. We're going to be warm tomorrow, a high of 88. That front will be moving through in the afternoon and evening hours, and so that's when winds are really going to pick up. We'll see wind gusts of up to 35 to 45 miles per hour tomorrow night, and then by Wednesday morning, you'll really feel the chill. Morning low close to 50 degrees. Afternoons only in the 60s on Wednesday, and then take a look at Thursday and Friday morning. We're going to need the jacket. It's going to be in the 40s. With highs in the 70s. So highs in the 70s on Halloween, but for trick-or-treating, temperatures will gradually fall into the 60s. It's going to be very nice with low humidity, quickly cooling temperatures. Looking at that 7-day forecast, again, we have to wait for that front until tomorrow evening. Otherwise, it is going to be a lovely fall-like feeling in the air starting on Wednesday.
Welcome back. It's 9:14, and here's today's 9 at 9. Powerful hurricane.
Well, that is the sound of gusty winds hitting up to 35 miles an hour. The cold front has finally arrived. We'll look at the temperatures we can expect this week and how long the strong winds will stick around.
And as we inch closer towards November 1st and 300,000 people in Bexar County prepare to go without SNAP benefits, we visit a nonprofit that's welcoming people with open arms.
Plus, a new drone system based out of Austin could protect schools from serious security threats. We'll tell you more about campus defense drones on tonight's KSAT Investigates.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
And thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am Ernie Zuniga.
And I'm Stefania Jimenez. So right now we are watching those windy conditions.
Yes, and before you leave tomorrow morning to go to work or school, please grab a layer or a jacket. Adam Caskey is here to break it all down for us.
Yeah, if you've been waiting to bust out the good comfy hoodie sweatshirt, it's a perfect time to do so, and you'll definitely need the jacket so as we get into Thursday morning in particular. Now, what you've noticed today so far from the cold front is the wind. That's what's still howling out there. Take a look at our latest wind gusts. So far, we've had a maximum gust of 38 miles per hour at the airport, but right now the most recent gust is 29, and we're seeing them anywhere from 30 to almost 40 miles per hour. That's going to be the case through the night and even the entire day tomorrow. These gusts will come and go, and it wouldn't surprise me if on some of the higher ridges in the hill country, especially any of them facing the north or northwest, get some gusts between 40 and 50 miles per hour. So the wind, very noticeable all the way through and basically up until sunset tomorrow evening. It's not that cool out there right now. The colder air takes some time to spill in, but considering we were 91 earlier this afternoon, a record by the way, we're now down to 69 here at the airport, 70 Converse and 70 Port SA there on the west side. So tomorrow morning, plan for low 50s in San Antonio, 52 to 53 degrees, but you get into outlying areas, especially the hill country, will be in the mid to upper 40s. So 47 Boerne, 48 Bulverde, 48 Kerrville and Comfort, 46 for the morning temperature tomorrow. Tomorrow, we only make it to the upper 60s, 68 the high temperature. That's 10 degrees below average for a change. It's been weeks since we've had a high temperature below average. And then notice how we do warm back into the 70s, but by and large, we're going to be at to below average for basically the next week or so. We also have the critical fire danger to talk about, the very dry air, and I'll get more specific with how much colder it's going to be Thursday morning and another chance of rain in just a bit.
Okay, thank you, sir. Well, like Caskey just mentioned, tomorrow morning will be cooler, but Thursday morning, we will really feel the cold front.
So the night team's John Papadahas got some tips for those of us who are about to turn on the heater for the first time in a long time. John Paul, what's the deal?
Stephanie, Ernie, it's definitely the cooler temperatures right now. Those gusty winds still remain. Of course, this is TV timing. As I say that, the flag stops flapping in the wind, but it's been flapping in the wind all night long. And as mentioned, the colder temperatures are going to be coming soon. So what does that mean? We finally have an opportunity to kick on those heaters. But what do you need to know to stay safe while staying warm?
Ensuring that your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors have fresh batteries in them and that they're functioning. That's the first and foremost thing that we need to check inside the home.
It's an out-of-sight, out-of-mind test that saves lives. Gregory Gate with Cowboys AC and Heating says another chore often forgotten is changing your air filter at least once a month.
If this guy gets real dirty, real clogged up, it'll make the system overwork, and we don't want that. It'll shorten the lifespan. Not only that, but then, the stuff you're breathing in, this is the most overlooked thing, and it's one of the most important things in your HVAC system.
And here in South Texas, we don't use our heaters often, so there are things you need to be on the lookout for when kicking on the heater for the first time in several months.
It's a great day at Cowboys AC and Heating.
This time of year, when things start to cool down, what are some of the more common calls that you guys experience?
Some of the most common calls is a smell, an odd smell, a burning smell, something that smells out of the ordinary.
However, a small burning smell to start is common. It says if that burning smell lasts longer than 24 hours, you should turn the heat off and get your HVAC looked at. What are some things that should raise some red flags immediately if it does happen?
I would say, like I said, a more abnormal burning smell. If you're noticing any kind of smoke coming out of your furnace, because this is an exhaust fan.
So if you have a gas smell.
Oh yes, that's a definite red flag. That's another thing a lot of customers kind of don't keep in mind is there's a whole other side of the HVAC system, which is your ductwork and your insulation.
All right, this is what I was trying to show you guys a little bit earlier. Now the flag is flapping back in the wind again. Anyways, also wants to recommend that you get your HVAC system checked routinely. So twice a year, he recommends the best practice is once in the spring and once in the winter. Stephania, Ernie.
Good advice, JP. Thank you. This is a really unsettling time for 40 million Americans who in just 4 days will stop getting their SNAP benefits. And that includes about 300,000 people here in Bexar County who will have to think of other ways to keep food on the table. But thankfully, organizations are stepping up. As a matter of fact, I went to a nonprofit tonight on the west side that's welcoming people with open arms. What are you going to do?
Eat less. You manage.
That's the reality for Jeff Hull. He's among the 300,000 people in Bexar County who won't get SNAP benefits come Saturday, November 1st. He's disabled and usually gets about $140 a month in benefits. Now he plans to ration the food he has left in his cupboard and go to food pantries in his neighborhood, like the one that's run by the local nonprofit Parenting Plus.
We offer material assistance, the bare essentials you need for your children, diapers, wipes, formula. We pride ourselves on giving away everything brand new. Nothing is gently used, and we are also a food pantry.
Gina Meyer is the executive director of Parenting Plus. She says the nonprofit helps about 10,000 people every year. And now Gina's preparing to expand services. If November 1st or something, somebody calls you and they say, hi, I need food.
We will get them food.
You will get them.
We will not turn anybody away.
Parenting Plus, like many of the food pantries in our area, expects a surge in demand in a few days as people look for ways to keep food on the table amid the government shutdown. The simplest way to find a food pantry near you is to visit feedingamerica.org, and then you scroll down on the page, you look for the section that says Find Food Near You, you click on it, and then you put in your zip code. Once you do that, that will direct you to the nearest food pantry in your area. Back to Jeff. He says he's not as worried about himself as he is about the elderly and severely disabled people who will have to find other ways to feed themselves until their SNAP benefits are restored.
People are going hungry. How do they do it? If I struggle, then how does an 80-year-old lady who can barely walk down a block, how does she do it?
Even in his time, Jeff is worried about other people. By the way, you can visit parentingplus.net to get in touch with that particular nonprofit, which is on the west side. Now, tonight, we also wanted to take a moment to address several misconceptions about SNAP. A few minutes ago, I mentioned that more than 40 million Americans receive those benefits. Well, the U.S. Department of Agriculture says that about 39% of them are children. 19% of them are 60 and older. Many of you have questions about what happens once those SNAP benefits are restored. And I took that very question to a food policy analyst.
They will go out. They are retroactive. If you don't receive your November benefit you will receive your November benefit when either the USDA decides to use the funds they are legally obligated by their own contingency plan to spend on SNAP, or when the White House directs them to do so, or when the government opens up again. They will receive all their back benefits.
According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the average person on SNAP gets about $190 per month.
Well, at the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner kickoff today, we got the opportunity to speak with Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones, and she told KSAT that CPS Energy and SAWS are stepping up to help federal workers and those who are on SNAP benefits. SAWS says that it will work with customers affected by the government shutdown, and customers should call SAWS customer service for help. CPS Energy says you can call their assistance line or follow a link on their website to a program called Assistance Finder, which helps their customers easily apply for bill assistance.
There is some relief. Folks should reach out to SAWS. They should reach out also to CPS. Those numbers are on the website. Call them and let them know that you're in one of those categories and that you need some help. And I just spoke to the CEOs, actually, of both of those organizations yesterday, and they're more than willing to work with, again, those federally impacted, those folks impacted by federal cuts.
Now, in addition, Northside ISD is accepting free and reduced priced meal applications and meal benefits for this school year. You can apply for that online and at the website schoolcafe.com. All right, so earlier today, Uvalde CISD released thousands of more documents related to the Robb Elementary School shooting back in 2022.
This time it was more than 45,000 pages, which include safety and security meeting notices and also some personnel files. And our team right now is busy reading through those documents, breaking down all of that information. You can head on over to KSAT.com to learn what we know so far.
Viva.
Exactly. So Fiesta still months away, but the party already getting started. Tonight, we got our first look at one of Fiesta's most popular events.
And now I want a chicken on a stick. But we're talking about the 135th annual Battle of Flowers Parade. So 10 area high schools have been chosen to join the 2026 Battle of Flowers Parade, which will be on April 24th. The theme is From Pages to Possibilities, with books as the backdrop for storytelling, imagination, and dreams as they leap off the page, take flight, and bloom into vibrant, flower-filled wonders. Now, more than 100 area high school students gathered to participate in the big reveal and view the unveiling of 10 school floats that carry the theme Where Imagination Blooms. And that's celebrated as a parade within the parade.
It's such a unique opportunity to just come and enjoy with the community, with people like-minded like me, and just share and express all the feelings that I have for my school.
So they also unveiled the 2026 Battle of Flowers medal tonight. It will feature an open storybook with butterflies coming off the page.
Lovely. Oh, I can't wait until
I know.
Now, still ahead, drones that are aimed at protecting students from threats on campus are coming to the Hill Country, and we're going to take a closer look at how they work after the break.
Well, we got a look, and we got the sounds of high-tech tools that could stop school shootings.
That's the goal anyway.
Yeah.
Those drones are landing on several Hill Country campuses within the next few months. KSAT investigates. Daniela Ibarra explains how they work and also why Bernie ISD believes that it could save lives.
So 30 years ago, if you heard that a drone could be on campus to help stop a potential active shooter, what would you think?
Unimaginable.
In the next few months, this will become reality.
I was, I've grown so much to appreciate the concept now, but my initial reaction was, no, this doesn't make any sense.
Rick Goodrich is Bernie ISD's Chief of Safety and Security. His job is to keep students safe.
And I see myself as a dad to all of them, and I really look at all these children as if they're my own.
It's why he spent the last year working to bring Campus Guardian Angel to the district. The drones aren't in place yet, so we headed to the startup's headquarters in Austin to see them in action.
This concept seems like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie.
You know, I think a lot of people, when we first talked about this, the first response is, yes, it sounds like a sci-fi movie, Black Mirror, whatever. But when you actually see it demonstrated, it comes back to what are the goals?
The company's goal is for these drones to confront a school shooter within 15 seconds. The sirens, pepper balls, and direct strikes are meant to distract the threat, buying law enforcement time.
These drones aren't lethal?
Right, I mean, I'm gonna hit you at 60, 70 miles an hour. It's not gonna kill you. It's like getting hit by a baseball bat. I am armed and ready. 3, go.
When deployed, a team of highly skilled pilots use virtual reality and real-time cameras to navigate.
So drones in Bernie are operated out of the center in Austin.
That's right. So from Austin, we can fly drones at any school in the nation in 5 seconds.
Where do you get an idea like this?
So the inspiration came originally from just looking how incredibly effective small drones were against people with guns in Ukraine.
3 years ago, a gunman killed 21 people at Robb Elementary in Uvalde. Co-founder Justin Marston believes this would have saved lives.
We feel very good that had we been there, we would have been able to confront that person in the parking lot, and the shooter would never have made it into the building.
But you hope you never actually have to use this program.
I pray we never do.
It's why the district's chief student support officer says they are prioritizing caring for students.
So when we hear that there's a need, whether it be an acute, urgent, or crisis level need, we're ready to respond.
And if it comes to the worst, they'll be ready to respond. Daniela Ibarra, KSAT Investigates.
So Bernie ISD says that they have had their legal team review the drones, and since the district is a pilot for the program, they say they've been able to secure Campus Guardian Angel at no cost.
The question is how much it's going to cost for other districts
right
in the state should they choose to implement that. Okay, so we're looking outside right now, 69 degrees. I know so many of us are so excited. We're dusting off the jackets, but Thursday is the coldest day, you're saying, right?
Yeah, we're going to fast forward a little bit and just go to the coldest point of the week, and that's going to be Thursday morning. Sunrise is when we hit our low temperature, and that's, you know, bus stop time for a lot of kids.
Menudo time, I think, is going to be on Thursday.
41 in San Antonio. We'll be in the mid-30s in the hill country, and I do think parts of the hill country, some nooks and crannies and low-lying areas, could flirt with the freezing point. Even Junction right now, the forecast is 32, but even where you see 35 around Kerrville, some other low-lying areas could briefly approach the freezing point on Thursday morning. That's our low point, but Friday, 43, so not much warmer than this weekend. Mornings in the lower 50s, back down into the mid 40s on Monday. Bottom line, we are finally below average for a long stretch. The average low is 56. We'll be there all the way until next Thursday, assuming the forecast doesn't change. Okay, it's very important for us to talk about relative humidity. Usually we talk dew point because that's the true measure of how much moisture is in the air and gives us our comfort level. Well, the relative humidity right now, 53%. That means the air is holding 53% of the moisture that it can at the current temperature. Now, this is going to plummet tomorrow. The strong north wind continues to push in drier, less humid air. Relative humidity tomorrow afternoon, anywhere from about 12 to 16%. And that's significant when it comes to critical fire danger. Now, red flag warning in effect for tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Remember, this does not mean that the weather is going to start fires. It's just if there was a fire, it would spread rapidly. And they can intensify rapidly, too, with the strong winds. Obviously, no campfires or burn piles. Shouldn't even be doing that anyway, because we do have a burn ban across just about every county in our KSAT 12 viewing area. Even tools, power tools that create sparks. If you're in tall, dry grass, that can be an issue and trigger a fire. Cigarettes must be disposed of properly. Even trailer chains that drag on the ground. Sometimes you see that on the road and they send the sparks off. Some of those sparks can land in the grass and start a fire. Anyway, very low humidity for the rest of the work week. Saturday, a little uptick in the humidity, and that's also correlated to a chance of rain. Here's the big wound up upper level low that helps to push the cooler air southward here into Texas. Then another one we're watching drops in on Saturday. That one comes in with some energy, and we have that moisture back in the air and gives us the potential of a few showers. Basically, we're at a 30% chance. Really quickly, Hurricane Melissa, an absolute massive and damaging hurricane, Category 5, made landfall at noon earlier today on the west coast of Jamaica. Then it was a 3. Now it's reemerged between Cuba and Jamaica as a 4, setting its sights on eastern Cuba tonight. And then it's headed off toward Bermuda and likely as a Cat 2 then. 91 our high today. That's a new record for the day. Tomorrow, very different. 52 in the morning, 63 at noon, only 68 for the high temperature tomorrow. 69 Bandera, 70 Floresville. And then going forward, still 70 for the high on Thursday, mid-70s Friday, and Halloween at sunset trick-or-treat time. We're talking 70 degrees and then quickly cooling down into the 60s. This is a welcome change.
Oh, very welcome. One that we've been praying for.
Go ahead and give him applause for that.
Thank you.
It's all Adam's doing. Thank you.
Keep it going for the Spurs, by the way. And, Mary, with, Duncan, Robinson, Parker, Ginobili, despite all of the winning over the years, the Spurs have a chance to do something they've never done before later this week.
Yes, this year is the year Spurs fans have been waiting for a long time, since hearing about those legends. They're on the cusp of trying to achieve the team's best start ever. Talking more about it coming up. And college football, UIW, UTSA, UTRGV. That and more after the break.
That's obviously the credit to Vic in terms of the presence that he has. I mean, I don't know if there's a stat that, derailed drives by just stepping up, but yeah, he definitely affects the game without having to block a shot.
Victor Wembanyama making players rethink attacking the basket since day one in big board sports. All right, the San Antonio Spurs are one win away from the best start to a season in franchise history after improving to 4-0 with yesterday's 18-point win over Toronto. Victor Wembanyama continues to frighten the league. 24 points and 15 rebounds last night, but only 1 block. Well, that's because Toronto hardly contested him. Here's how Wemby reacted to Harrison Barnes' new idea for a stat: derailed drives.
That's a good idea. Yeah, it's a great idea because we do a lot of video with Sean Sweeney, to analyze the situations, and there's many times it's like before we even get to this shot, to having to block this shot, there's stuff we can do beforehand.
Now, outside of Wemby's noticeable improvement to his game, the roster that surrounds us has been complementary to each other. Here's the vet Barnes spewing his knowledge on that after the game.
Every single night, there's plenty of offense to go around. We're always going to have people who can step up, put the ball in the basket, right? But defensively, how can we do that every single night, and how can we cheer for each other's success? I think that's the biggest thing for us, because it's such a long season, because health is a part of this game, that we're going to need different guys at different times to step up. And I think guys have responded to the call, whoever it's been, whether it's been Jordan McLaughlin, whether it's been Carter's minutes tonight, whether it's been Bismack's minutes, whoever it is that maybe was in one role, but then a guy goes down and have to step up.
All right, here we go. The Spurs will take a shot at the franchise's best start to a season ever on Thursday at home against the Heat.
When it comes down to it, offensively, we have to make sure, in those end of the game, last 2 drives of the game, we got to be able to put somebody away. Same thing on defense. When it comes down to those end of the games, overtime, we got to get a stop.
Texas State fell to Arkansas State by 1 point 3 weeks ago, and the Bobcats dropped their last 2 contests in overtime. Tonight, JMU is in San Marcos, and here's a live scoring update. In the 4th quarter, JMU up 52-20 on the Bobcats. And out west, Game 4 of the World Series on the heels of last night's 18-inning epic between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. And Toronto ties up the series. A big game from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. helps the Blue Jays to a 6-2 victory. UIW is still without a Southland Conference victory this season after dropping another game, this time to first-year program UTRGV. The Cards host next first place Lamar this Saturday for homecoming, and the word is itching to play spoiler.
We're coming and fighting every day. Everybody circles us on their calendar, so everybody wants to give us their best shot, so we come in knowing that every week.
Obviously, you got the top team in the league coming in here, and that's got to be enough motivation. That, along with just the fact that it's another opportunity. It's a blessing to have the opportunity of redemption.
The longest we could
half in the history of week and a halves. It's been 6 weeks of a bye.
On national television this Thursday inside the Alamo Dome, 3-4, UTSA will try to get back on track against the American Conference's second place 6-1 Tulane Green Wave. That game's at 6:30. Also, a fun scheduling announcement today. The Rio Grande Valley's newest FCS team, the Vaqueros, have scheduled a date with UTSA in 2026. All right, uncertainty at quarterback as Texas gears up for LSU after the break.